Professor Holger, coming from Germany, can you define the differences between the urbanism situation in Germany and Egypt, probably?
Yeah, I guess there are huge differences between the two. I mean, let's not look just into Germany, but let's say as a European condition, as opposed to with my current living environment, the Middle East. Yes, of course, there's a big difference, and the difference is that, particularly in a European context, cities don't grow anymore. They kind of stagnate in what they are doing. It becomes, also during the past 30 years, particularly European cities got more and more. The inner cities got restorated, they got renovated. There is a different attitude towards the city. Doesn't mean necessarily that people in Europe do identify more with the city than they would do over here. But what I would assume, if you look particularly in the case of Cairo, I mean the city, or let's not call it a city anymore, this kind of metropole, this agglomeration, is growing with 500,000 people per year. So this kind of sheer number indicates that most people don't associate with the city anymore. They associate with the district, with the neighborhood, but they don't have a direct relation with the city. I mean, imagine since the 1960s, 70s, 80s, Cairo grew from a 4 million city to a 20 million city. So all the people migrating from the countryside, they don't have a relation with the history, with the existing old town, like the turn of the century downtown, or even with the Islamic Cairo. There's hardly any relation to that. So they build up their daily life around the neighborhood, the family tiers, other issues, but not necessarily related to the city. And that's probably a huge difference to a European context. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Holger. We wish you a nice conference day, and we also hope to see you again in Cyprus, probably in more events like that.
This is a great pleasure. It's also a great pleasure. I mean, I also have to refer to all the people that present here. There's so many papers, almost 60 papers that are going to be presented, and all of the topics are really challenging topics, and I'm very excited to be here and hear more and learn from all the others too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, as Cyprus Observer Media Platform, we believe in the role arts, cultures play in sustaining peace, preventing conflicts, and also making the world a better place. Please stay with Cyprus Observer and follow our channel to get more news on this exciting event. Go global, living local. Bye-bye. Dear ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to introduce you Dr. Hurash Ahmetnia, who is the honorable member of the organizing committee of the International Conference on Contemporary Affairs dealing with Architecture and Urbanism. Dr. Hurash, could you please tell us the brief description of this conference?
Thank you so much. Hello, dear everyone. Actually, we have launched this conference about 1.5 years ago. The title is about First International Conference on Contemporary Affairs in Architecture and Urbanism. We have got 160 papers from 40 different countries, and after doing all registration and quality checking process, finally we decided to publish 40 papers in our proceedings. The main aim of this conference is to provide and share the latest manifestos, methodologies, and developments to raise the understanding for the future of architecture and urbanism. And here it needs to mention that without the support of a rector of our international university, we wouldn't be able to gather here at all. So I really appreciated all his support. And also the mayor of Kyrenia was with us. I really appreciate his support as well, and also editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Economic Management and Perspective. And as you may know, I was honored to be the chairman of this conference, and at the same time we will try to publish in our journal, International Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, some of the selected high-quality papers, and also there will be different types of publication. There are 2 more journals who are supposed to support us So we will check qualities and we will try to publish the highest quality based on the ranking of the journals in our publication process.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hurash. We wish you a lot of success and luck, and thank you for organizing such a great event.
Thank you for you as well to be here and accepting our invitation to be here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hurash. Looking forward to have. Dear ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to introduce you one of the speakers of this international conference and also the member of the organizing committee, Almira Hafizoglu. Almira, can you just tell us how the practice can be met with the theory? There have been many research papers presented in this conference, but how can they really change what we have in the world in terms of urbanism?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, and I think academic world is present there because of several reasons, and one of them is by analyzing different research. By studying different research fields, we can avoid mistakes, basically, and so. That's what is done. I mean, we learn from mistakes, or we are learning from research, and we are analyzing the subject before we actually implement it on the practice. So yeah, this is my opinion. And also another phase of the conferences is, of course, sharing. We meet a lot of interesting speakers, a lot of interesting professors, and also it's the growing for some assistants, for some PhD candidates, for master students, for bachelor students. And thank you, Professor Hurash, for such an opportunity. Thank you for our keynote speakers for such an opportunity to actually be present here, to be able to communicate, to share knowledge, to get knowledge from them, to have their opinion, most importantly.
Dear Almira, can you apply that knowledge gathered during the conference in relation to the situation where our island is now in terms of urbanism and cultural heritage?
Of course, actually my research was under the title of the heritage, because I'm studying vernacular architectural connections between spiritual and material and all these topics. And yeah, of course we can do that. And actually I think in Cyprus it's also a big problem, because we have a very quick urbanization. Also the mayor of Girne was speaking about it today. We have a very fast urbanization, and what is our duty, what is the duty of academics, what is the duty of architects, is to preserve the authenticity. And I've been hearing it from so many people, from architects and non-architects, that something unique, something local is much more interesting for them, of course. So it's not just the opinion of academic world, it's also the whole world out there.
Thank you very much, and we are looking forward to have more events like that for sure.
Thank you so much. Looking forward as well. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to introduce you Mr. Parvas Pargari, who has come to Cyprus directly from the USA. He is an internationally acclaimed interior designer. Mr. Pargari, welcome to Cyprus, first of all.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here in this wonderful city and country.
Thank you very much. Nice to hear that. Our first question will be about the interior design. For me, it is like the soul of the building. What can you say about the interior design in terms of urbanism issue?
Actually, the designer is the one who gives life, peace, and harmony to any kind of buildings, no matter if it's a house or it's an office area. So the role of interior designers is very important. So it's wonderful to have designers involved from the first stage of building any buildings. So that's why I'm here to represent the interior designers.
Mr. Pargari, what about the cultural heritage? How can cultural heritage mean the urbanism issue? How can we achieve that balance between the both?
It's always wonderful to keep your culture, no matter where you are from, but also you have to be adapted to the new culture and new urbanism and new society. So it's good to combine them somehow together.
As far as I know, originally you come from Iran, and doing those interior designs, do you compile the traditions of your culture with the USA environment?
The only thing I can use, because environments and countries are completely different. I was born in Iran, but I got educated for interior design and furniture design in United States. So I'm more American than being more Iranian in design-wise. So that's what, but I always use Persian carpets in my design.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Pargari, very much for.
It's a pleasure being here, and it's nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I am really glad to introduce you Associate Professor Yasmin İnceguney. Dear Professor Yasmin, can you just introduce yourself? We know that you come from Turkey to Cyprus and you are taking part in such a great conference which we have today.
Hello everybody. Yes, I'm from Balıkesir University, currently teaching there. I'm also the head of the department there. But I also taught at Eastern Mediterranean University between 2011 and 2012. It was great experience for me, and it was great to be part of this wonderful event that is taking place here. I am a graduate of Middle East Technical University. I'm from Ankara originally, and I went to United States to get my PhD, Master's and PhD, and I get my PhD from University of Michigan in 2005, and since then I'm in Balıkesir.
Thank you very much. You are one of the keynote speakers in this conference. Can you tell briefly about your speech and about your academic research?
I'm currently looking at. I started with housing, notions of home, dwelling, and how it is, different to have a house versus to have a home. So I am also interested with modernization and how it affected these notions of home, our disconnectedness, and how we can solve it. And at the same time, the technology is changing, and we need to be aware of it as architects. So currently, I'm looking into a comprehensive view of architecture, and how as a discipline, how as a profession, and how as an education we can shape our future as environmental designers, and what can we do about it. That's basically, it's a broad area, you can say, but all is so much connected that I'm working towards finding a balance between all these different diversities and making a comprehensive whole.
To your mind, what defines the difference between the house and the home?
House is the property, is the material. You can design it, you can put some objects into it, and you can put some furniture, and you can select the colors and so on and so forth. But a home is when you make that house your own, when you put your spirit and connect it with the place of that spirit. So that's very, it's Christopher Alexander tells this as a quality without a name. So how as architects, we can know as personally first, and then how we can teach to our students. I studied phenomenology, hermeneutics as well, and Don Ichte is a very important researcher for me. There's a word that he said, phenomenology is a catharsis that one must go through in order to restore one's own experience. So I tried to the best of my ability, and I think I have a sense of what it is, how I can separate home between house. So I wanted, I can see the examples of this. Today we had a very distinguished interior designer also as our guest, and his work really represented what I'm talking about. So as a discipline, as a profession, as an education, I think we need to be searching for this to understand the spiritual part of architecture.
Do you think that need for the spiritual part of architecture rises with the urbanism issue, because people, they really need to get that shelter of the home, not of the house.
Definitely. And cities are changing. We are more urban population now. You know, in the past, most of the people were living in rural areas. They were more in contact with the nature. And not only the nature outside, but also their own nature. But we now live in urban areas, and in urban areas, we kind of lost not only the touch of the nature, but also our own, very own touch. So I think as designers, we owe it to humanity to figure out a way to make this connection once more. And architecture, I think, is one of the very influential professions of the future.
Thank you very much. Once more, dear Cyprus Observer audience, we had Associate Professor Yasmin İnceguney. Thank you very much for that thought-provoking quotes and conversation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it's great to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you.